The following is a production of CUTV Sports.
Of the regular season for the California Vulcans tips off here at the Convocation Center on the campus of Cal U, where the Vulcans are going to be welcoming the visiting Seton Hill Griffins in women's basketball action. Good day, friends. My name is Cody Jeanette. Joining me today is Anthony D'Agostino. And Anthony, California last Saturday played a non-conference game down in the mountains of West Virginia.
That's right. They played Davis and Elkins and ended up coming out with a win 72-67 on a little cold, snowy day where Lana Doran had 17 points. Emma Mahadi had 8 rebounds, so a definitely good turnout for Lana Doran and Emma Mahadi and the whole team.
Yeah, those two players, led the squad to the victory. Lana Doran shooting 8 for 15 from the floor in that game. And as for Seton Hill, they started a road trip back against Slippery Rock at their gymnasium, but unfortunately got the short end of the stick on that one.
Yeah, they ended up losing 87-82 against Slippery Rock, but they kept it close, and Seton Hill does that a lot. Kelly Brennan was definitely the story with 39 points. That was the most scored by a Griffin since they moved to the NCAA.
Yeah, very impressive. Both teams had a very impressive stat in their previous game, if you want to look at it that way. Well, the last time these two teams met, just about a month ago, back on January 17, 2015, and that game was at Seton Hill.
And that was over winter break where California won 73-65, but as I said before, Seton Hill kept it close the entire game. Mickey Glenn, 20 points. Glenn and Frost both scored 15 points in the second half, and California is definitely a really good second half team.
Yeah, they've been coming out on fire during those second halves of the year. And speaking of coming out on fire, there's you and home are definitely going to need to keep an eye on a few players throughout today's game. But one player that we're going to be keeping an eye on here today for California is one of the PSAC contenders for Freshman of the Year, Sierra Barrett.
And Sierra Barrett, we always talk about Sierra Barrett while we're announcing games, and it's really great to have her on our players to watch. She had 13 points against Seton Hill and played only 12 minutes against Davis and Elkins, so we definitely think she's going to be well rested, but she's definitely one to watch. She flies down the court. She's really tall. She's able to get rebounds and steal the ball on defense.
And as for Seton Hill, I mean, it goes without saying, 39 points in the last game. Kelly Brennan, you got to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, definitely. 39 points against Slippery Rock. Only 16 points against the Vulcans, but she is definitely a force to be reckoned with for Seton Hill.
Well, the weather outside is forecasted to be snowy and cold here at California, but all the forecast for the Convocation Center says is high-intensity women's basketball action. Tip-off is next here on CUTV.
NCAA Division II has much to cheer about, as nearly 100,000 student athletes compete with passion and pride. And I'm pleased to share the best news of all. Student athletes are outperforming the rest of the D2 student body in graduation rates. Just another reason why you'll hear us say with pride, I chose Division II. Learn more at d2sa.org.
With 18 institutions, my conference is the largest league across all NCAA classifications. With nearly 7,000 student athletes competing in 23 championships, my conference sponsors the most championships in Division II. With a 78% academic success rate, my conference graduates student athletes well above the national average. We compete with passion. We take pride in our efforts in the arena and in the classroom. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Passion, pride, Pennsylvania.
Just about to get underway here on the basketball court at the Convocation Center on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania. The visiting Seton Hill Griffins are coming into town to take on the California Vulcans. Once again, joining me today is Anthony D'Agostino. My name is Cody Jeanette, and we will have the call for you today for women's basketball. And Anthony, let's take a look at the team leaders.
And for California, Mickey Glenn with 15.4.
Tail of the tape, I
We
beg your
go to
pardon.
the tail
Thank
of
you.
the tape now.
Thank you, I beg your pardon on that.
California scoring 73.6 points per game and 69 for Seton Hill. Definitely California, we've seen them 70 points per game at least. Now, field free throws, 72.4% for Cal, 68.4% for the Griffins. Free throws win games.
Yeah, just like you were saying, Anthony, the Seton Hill likes to keep things close, and those stats on the tail of the tape definitely look close there. So let's take a quick look at your starting lineup, starting with the California Vulcans under head coach Jess Strum. Starting today for the Vulcans will be number 2, Emma Mahadi, number 11, Caitlin Frotz, number 12, Lana Doran, number 21, Mickey Glenn, and number 44, Precious Martin. And for the visiting Seton Hill Griffins, number 0, Chelsea Apke will be starting, along with number 1, Jenna Kaufman, number 2, Jaren Gill, number 3, Megan Mastriani, and number 20, Kelly Brennan, our player to watch.
And Kelly Brennan, as we said before, really, really big key for Seton Hill.
And as we were, but real quick, Anthony, before we get the tip-off underway, today promises to be an extremely emotional game for the Vulcans here today, because today, as of the day we were recording this, February 18, 2015, was 1 month ago that the fallen member of the Vulcan family, Shanice Clark, passed away. And the last opponent that she played against before her passing was Seton Hill. So today promises to be an extremely emotional game for the Vulcans here today on the hardwood at the Convocation Center. We're just about to get ready for tip. Precious Martin, and she wins it. Precious Martin wins the tip for the Vulcans, and here we go. Mickey Glenn brings it up, sends it near side to Caitlin Frotz. Frotz back down in the corner underneath to Mahadi. She gets trapped by Apke, but she breaks it back out, sends it cross court to Frotz. Frotz goes down underneath. Glenn, pass got tipped and stolen away by the Griffins. Here comes Jaren Gill, bringing it up for the Griffins.
And Mickey Glenn on that one could have taken it herself, but instead looked the pass, and it got stolen away there by Gill.
19:23 left to go in the first half. Brennan has it, looking for a lane, but backs out instead, gives it to Kaufman. Kaufman with a jumper for 3, it's good. 3-0 Griffins.
And Kaufman, 35% from the three-point line, but she was right there, right on the edge there, was able to get it, the 3 points, as California got there a little too late.
So now here's Doran near side, sends it cross court to Glenn. Back out at the point for Frotz. California looking to answer the early 3-point shot by Seton Hill, but Doran guilty of a travel, so it will be a turnover for the Vulcans.
And Lana Doran on that one just shuffled her feet as she was looking for someone to pass to.
So now Apke will inbound it. She has Jaren Gill. And here come the Griffins. Gill coming up the near side, being defended very well by Precious Martin. Cross court now, far side. That's Mastriani. Takes a jumper for 3. Rebounded by Seton Hill. Brennan with the jumper for 2. That's good. It's 5-0 Seton Hill.
Hey, that was a good rebound there by Seton Hill. But if you're California, you definitely want to get those rebounds, because Seton Hill's a very scrappy team, and they'll get those 2 points if you don't get the rebound.
Second chance opportunities, very deadly stat to look at whenever you're looking at a team head-to-head. Now here's Martin, sends it far over to Mahadi, who takes a jumper. That's no good. The rebound scrambles. Frotz almost has it, but Apke falls down with it and finds Gill, and Gill will bring it up.
And that was almost a travel there by Apke as she was falling down.
Here's Gill, tries to go for Kaufman, but the ball goes out of bounds.
And, you know, seeing Precious Martin out there, 44, that's her first start that I've noticed, because California is fighting the flu a little bit there. Arena Kuka, who usually starts, is sitting out today.
Sitting out with the flu virus, just like you said, Anthony. And Kelly Brennan takes that jumper in for 2. It's 7-0 Seton Hill.
And just like that, California does not have an answer yet for the Seton Hill Griffins.
So now here's Mickey Glenn bringing it up. She'll reset, being pressured by Brennan. Goes to Mahadi. Mahadi back to the near side for Glenn. Glenn finds a lane, but kicks it back out for Frotz instead. Low pass, but she caught it. Gives it over to Mahadi. Mahadi over into the corner for Doran. Here comes Doran with the jump off the side of the backboard. Rebounded by Gill. Sends a long pass up for Brennan, who takes a jumper for 3, and that falls through. It's 10-0 Griffins, and timeout California.
And definitely a good call there by Coach Strom. Now down 10-0 with 17:21 left to go in the first half. California just hasn't been able to find a way to get around this zone defense that Seton Hill is playing. And they're also doing this weird trap thing where they take 2 players whenever California has it in the corner and traps them, and then California just has nowhere to go with the ball.
Yeah, it's something that California hasn't normally seen too much. Usually with their opponents, they'll go one-on-one, and that can easily be worked around, at least for Coach Jess Strom. We've seen it in the past against other clubs, but now Seton Hill, here they come with something completely fresh and new. It might take a while for the Vulcans to click with their chemistry, but we've seen it before, getting it off to slow starts, but once they find that groove, they never get out of it.
That's right. As we said before in the open, California Vulcans definitely a really good second half team, late first half team.
So there's 17:21 left to go in the first half. The inbound goes to Mickey Glenn, and she'll bring it up. Glenn crosses half court, gives it to Mahadi near side. Down low for Sierra Barrett, who checks into the game after the timeout. Glenn dropped it, scramble for it. Seton Hill clearly has possession. Emergency pass over to the far side for Mastriani, successful. Now she gets stolen away by Mickey Glenn again. Touché, say the Vulcans. Here comes Barrett with the layup off the front of the rim, no good.
And I was just a little too strong for Sierra Barrett.
So now here's Gill. She sends it near side to Brennan. Brennan looking for a lane. Dances around the paint, but kicks it back out for Gill. Gill back to Brennan. Brennan with a jumper for 3. Off the side of the rim, no good. The rebound comes to Glenn, and here comes the long stretch pass from Mahadi. Mahadi with the layup, too soft. Rebounded by Gill.
And that was a good pass, though, by Glenn to Mahadi, as Mahadi was just down there all alone. Was able to get it over top of Seton Hill's heads.
So Gill tried going underneath for Apke, but there was no one there. But it's recovered by Mastriani, and her jumper for 2 is good. It's 12-0 Seton Hill.
And a little bit of a lucky bounce there for Mastriani as it bounced around on the rim there. California just has not had the lucky bounce yet.
Under 16 left to go in the first half. Glenn has it. She gives it to Martin. Martin to Barrett. Back to Glenn. Glenn spin around the paint. Sends the layup up. Unfriendly bounce. No good. The ball will go out of bounds. Possession favors Seton Hill.
And subbing in for California during this first immediate timeout is going to be Paige Wright.
So we've reached our first pause on the floor. We're going to take a look at what we teased earlier as the team leaders for California.
As we see Mickey Glenn there scoring, leading with 15.4 points per game, rebounding Emma Mahadi. We said her in the open. This time she's set 6 rebounds. Assists, Mickey Glenn, 92 assists. She's very good at feeding the post and getting Emma Mahadi or Lana Dorn, whoever, with the assist.
Yeah, Mickey Glenn very responsible for producing a lot of points on the offense, as well as creating those opportunities with those 67 steals. And now looking at Seton Hill, you have Mastriani leading the way with scoring, which is surprising considering Kelly Brennan had 39 points in their last game against Slippery Rock, but she's only trailing Mastriani by mere decimal points, averaging 9.8 points per game.
As we see Apke here with 3 different leading points here, with rebounding 8.9 rebounds per game. Steals, Apke does a really good job of getting those hands out there to steal the ball from whoever she's playing against. And Apke also plays the most with 27.9 minutes.
So it's 12-0 Seton Hill with 15:47 left to go in the first half. We're seeing Paige Wright check into the game, just like you mentioned earlier, Anthony. She subs in.
And Cody, I can't remember the first time California has been down by this much, at least not scoring any points so far in the first half.
If I had to guess, Anthony, I would guess the IUP game against the first one back in January. This was that long ago, about a month ago. So now here's Wells with a jumper for 3. That's good. It's 15-0 Seton Hill. And
Wells on that one, she was guarded pretty well there by California, but shooting 35.6 from the three-point line. She made that one. Now 15-0 in favor of the Griffins here.
Far side, that's Doran. Sends it underneath to Martin. Takes a jumper for 2. That's good. California's on the board, 15-2.
And there you go. So Lucky Charms coming out for Martin gets the first 2 points of the game for California.
So Alexandra Hay brings it up, and she tries to go for a pass down the far side and goes to Doran instead, but the ball scrambles and goes out of bounds. Possession favors California. They'll inbound it, and now we're seeing Cece Dixon check into the game for Martin.
And on that pass, that wasn't the pass, but Chelsea Apke on that one just kind of knocked it out of Mickey Glenn's hand on that one, and it went out of bounds, but in favor of California.
So the inbound comes to Wright over on the far side. She hands it back over to Glenn, who will reset the offense. Giving directions, goes near side to Doran, back over to Glenn. Glenn with a jumper for 3. That's no good, off the front of the rim, and there's a foul on the floor.
And that foul's going to go against Sierra Barrett as she hit the hand of Alexandra Hay for Seton Hill.
Sierra Barrett with her first foul of the game, and the first foul by either team goes to California. So now here comes Mariah Wells, bringing it up the far side for the Griffins. Being double teamed, tries to go underneath, but the ball got tipped out of bounds by a Griffin, so it will be California's possession.
And we're going to look here and see if California can take control of that turnover and get some more points, as it's 14:25 left to go, down 2-15.
So Mickey Glenn will bring it across half court, give it over to far side to Wright. Now to Dixon from the corner, off the side of the rim. Ball goes out of bounds again off of Doran. So it's going to be Seton Hill's possession this time.
And it looked like Sierra Barry and Lana Doran were both going for the ball there and didn't know who was supposed to grab it and just went out of bounds.
The inbound comes to Alexandra Hay. Here she comes across half court, being pressured by Doran. Hay near side, back out to the point, being double teamed by Dixon. Good pressure. We're seeing a couple substitutions, handful of substitutions actually ready to come in for Seton Hill as Brennan takes it down the lane, but the ball goes out of bounds on the rebound attempt.
And good job there by Cece Dixon to hit the ball off a Seton Hill player, as it's now California ball.
So we have a handful of substitutions come into the game for Seton Hill. 13:50 left to go in the first half as Glenn brings it up the court. Glenn being pressured by Hay. Sends it underneath for Barrett, now to Dixon. Dixon cross court for Wright. A long 3 off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Seton Hill.
And that's not a bad shot there by Paige Wright. She's 41.7% from the three-point line so far.
So the pass goes underneath and stolen away by Doran. She gives it to Wright, and she'll bring it up. Paige Wright over on the far side gives it to Mickey Glenn. Jaron Gill is ready to check back into the game for the Griffins when needed. Barrett tried to go underneath for Dixon, but it got blocked away and stolen away by the Griffins. So here they come. Hay looks like she might have drawn a foul against Dixon.
And she did, as the call was a blocking foul there, as Cece Dixon didn't give Hay any room to move on the court.
And Shatara Parsons now checks into the game for the Vulcans. Here comes Gill. Near side. Gill swinging around on her own. Picked it up maybe a little earlier than she might have wanted to. Right in front of the bench, Lindsay Misford, one of the substitutions in for Seton Hill, almost stepped out of bounds on the California bench, but she sends a shot up. It's no good. The rebound comes to California.
And that was a good rebound there by California, making sure they capitalized on that missed opportunity.
Now here's Dixon from the corner for a long 2. That's good. It's 15-4.
And great job by Cece Dixon on that one, just taking the shot instead of passing it, because right now Seton Hill is doing a really good job of getting in the passing lanes.
Misfit has it near side. Looking for an option, finds Gill. 12:20 left to go in the half. Gill, far side for Wells. Wells in the corner, tried going for an emergency shot, but we have a whistle. Beforehand, she was guilty of a travel.
Yeah, she was moving on that shot as she was trying to take the shot off. She just didn't have enough time to take the shot off, so she traveled on that one, as we had a substitution here for California.
So Paige Wright will inbound it to Mickey Glenn. And she'll give it right back to Wright, and Wright will bring it up court for the Vulcans. She finds Doran over on her left wing. 12 minutes left to go in the half. Glenn, right at the point, giving directions. Finds the lane, tried going for a little pass between the legs of a Griffin defender, but there was nobody home. So with 11 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the first half, your score, Seton Hill 15, California 4. We're just underway here at the Convocation Center at Cal U. More first half action is next here on CUTV.
With 18 institutions, my conference is the largest league across all NCAA classifications. With nearly 7,000 student athletes competing in 23 championships, my conference sponsors the most championships in Division II. With a 78% academic success rate, my conference graduates student athletes well above the national average. We compete with passion. We take pride in our efforts in the arena and in the classroom. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Passion, pride, Pennsylvania.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
(15-4), Seton Hill over California at this moment. 11:55 to go in the first half. We're seeing California inbounded from underneath their own basket. The long inbound comes to Doran. Doran sends it near side, now back out for Glenn. Over on the far side for Mahadi. Takes the jumper, that's no good. Rebound comes to Seton Hill. So now here's Gill with it. Gill gives it over to her wingmate, but she's going to be guilty of a travel or send it out of bounds. Either one, I beg your pardon, and it will be California's ball.
And that was Mifsud on that one, just traveling on that one. She was also trying to go with a pass, but ended up traveling. As we've seen Caitlin Frost not play a lot today, and she was a big part of California's win against UPJ when we were there. She had a lot of three-point shots, she hit a lot of two-point shots, and she was also there for the wide open layup. She was really good on the breakaway. She's one of the fastest players on the California team.
So now here's Mahadi with it, taking a jumper for two. That falls through. 15-6.
And good free throw shot there by Emma Mahadi, as it's now 15-6 in favor of Seton Hill.
So now here's Gill with it, being pressured by Glenn. Good pressure. Now here comes Doran pressuring. Gives it over to Mastriani, but she'll draw a foul in the process.
And that one's going to be against Paige Wright, as she was reaching in for that basketball there.
Paige Wright just getting a little too anxious trying to reach for the ball. So California now has 3 team fouls. Seton Hill with 0. 11-12 left to go in the first half. The long inbound goes to Gill. She'll rebound it in the opposite paint and cross half court. Going to be double teamed again by Glenn and Doran, but now she finds some options, tries to go over for Misfit, but the ball flies out of bounds at the California bench.
Misfit is only 5'7", and she would look like she was throwing that one to a 6-foot player, and definitely California ball on that pass.
So now Mickey Glenn will bring it up the court for the Vulcans. Glenn goes over to the far side, looking for a lane, kicks it back out for Wright. Now back to Mahadi. Back over to Glenn. Glenn tries again at the lane, but kicks it back off of Wright instead. Wright with a jumper for 3. That's nothing but net. 15-9.
And great job by Paige Wright, utilizing that 41.7% from the three-point line, as she was wide open right on the center point of the three-point arc.
So Misfit has it. She tries to go underneath for Apke, but the pass gets stolen away by Wright. She gives it to Glenn. Parsons was waving for a stretch pass, but there was a defender right back there to defend. So she'll give it back to Glenn. Seeing a substitution ready to check into the game for the Griffins. Glenn goes to Mahadi with the jumper for 2. That falls through, 15-11.
And that's exactly what you want to see, as now Seton Hill takes the timeout. As California's coming on a little bit of a run here. I think they finally figured out how to break that zone trap kind of game that Seton Hill's been playing. You just got to start making your shots, because you're not going to be able to go inside the paint to get the easy layup.
Right out of the media timeout, California on a 7-0 run whenever we took our last commercial break. So very impressive. Good rebounding by the Vulcans. And taking a look at the regional rankings, Anthony, these are really important. Livingstone is at number 1. California is at number 2, right behind them along with IUP. But there's a little bit of a story going on with Livingstone. They did not take into consideration the scandalous actions that the team might have taken.
Right, Livingstone might drop out of the regional rankings because the selection committee did not factor in the forfeits due to their ineligible player. They should drop out of first, and it'll be interesting to see who would take that seat. Would it be IUP or would it be California?
It all depends on the course of action this week as well. You got to take into consideration these games right now. So with 10:05 left to go in the first half, Seton Hill will be inbounding. Led the way by Jaron Gill. Gill comes up the near side. Looks for an option, finds Mastriani. Mastriani over to Brennan. Kelly Brennan back to Gill. Gill goes near side, but kicks it back out for Haley Norris, or Torres, I beg your pardon. That shot is going to go out of bounds.
And it's going to end up being California ball as both California and Seton Hill are going up for that rebound.
So Torres was the substitution that we saw that was ready to check in once Seton Hill took their timeout. So now Glenn goes over to Wright. Wright near side to Glenn. Back to Wright. Wright with a long three. That falls through. 15-14. California's back within one.
And Paige Wright again doing a great job at that three-point arc. Doing a 14-3 run for California here. Paige Wright being a really key part of that run.
Now here's Gill with it. Gill near side tries to go for Torres, and that shot goes through for three. It's 18-14.
And on that one, Paige Wright just didn't get a chance to get over in time before Torres took that three-point shot, and she made it count.
So Caitlin Frotz is ready to check into the game for the Vulcans. Glenn kicks it back out to Wright. Far side for Doran. Doran attacks, sends the shot up, gets her own rebound, but that second chance comes to Apke. And Mahadi stolen away, but Apke recovers.
And whenever you're right underneath the basket like that, it's really hard to judge how far and how much you need to hook the ball to get it into the net.
So now here's Torres with a long three-point off the front of the rim. Comes to Glenn. Glenn will charge up the court, draws the foul as she was charging down the lane.
And they're not going to call it a shooting foul because she was fouled right before she shot the ball, and that foul is going to go against Chelsea Apke on that one as Seton Hill gets their first foul of the game.
So Frotz and Barrett both check into the game for the Vulcans. And Chelsea Apke takes a seat for the Griffins. Frotz with the inbound, finds Glenn, goes underneath to Parsons. Parsons drives the lane, unfriendly roll off the side of the rim, and we got a foul on the court.
And it looks like that foul is going to go against Gill. And again, it wasn't a shooting foul, so it's only the second foul for the Griffins, but it's going to be Mickey Glenn taking that free inbounds pass.
So now Seton Hill with two quick team fouls here in the first half. California still has three. 18-14 the score in favor of the Griffins. Glenn has it, goes over far side to Doran, almost lost it, but recovers. Now Glenn has it, sends it cross court for Frotz with a long jumper for two off the side of the rim, rebounded by Seton Hill.
And good decision by Frotz not to take the three-point shot, but to dribble, get the defense out of alignment to take the shot. Just ended up missing on that one, but it was definitely a good decision by Frotz.
Under 8 minutes left to go in the half. Kaufman tried to go underneath for her shot, but it was no good. And now here comes Frotz down the other side with the layup in and good, 18-16.
And that's what you need for California. You need that speed from Frotz so she can get down the court and get those 2 points really easily.
So Jaron Gill has it, being pressured by Frotz, goes over far side for Mastriani. Mastriani attacking the baseline, and that shot is not going to count as there was a whistle before the shot went off.
And now it's going to be a carry against Seton Hill as the ball went up and came back down. As we now look at the PSAC West standings, California is in first with a 17-2 for the conference. Seton Hill 7-12.
Yeah, they're right now the top 6 teams in the standings make the postseason whenever that time rolls around, and the little asterisk by California, Indiana, Gannon, and Edinburgh means that they've already gotten a spot in that postseason dance. And Indiana right now right behind California for that first seed, but those last 4 fighting for that last spot are even more intense. Seton Hill, Slippery Rock, UPJ, and Mercyhurst.
And Seton Hill playing California. Slippery Rock today is playing Clarion, so shouldn't be too hard for Slippery Rock to beat Clarion. But Pitt Johnstown is playing against Mercyhurst on that one, and that's going to be definitely an interesting game.
Yeah, Pitt, Johnstown, and Mercyhurst. It's an extremely powerful and meaningful game. And Gannon right now has a bye this week. They played on Thursday, or Tuesday, I beg your pardon, against Lemoyne in a non-conference game.
And Gannon just has a bye today. They will be playing again on Saturday here in California.
So 7:21 left to go in the half. The inbound comes to Mickey Glenn. Glenn up the floor, directing traffic, tries to go underneath for Barrett. She has it with the layup in and good. We're tied at 18.
And Sierra Barrett doing a great job there. She was hounded by a bunch of Seton Hill players, and she was able to get that ball up and away to get the 2 points.
So now here's Gill with it. Jaron Gill looking for a lane, kicks it back out for Kaufman instead. Kaufman goes to Gill. Gill being heavily pressured by the California defense, sends it to Brennan. Kelly Brennan finds a lane, attacks, sends the layup up. It takes a weird bounce off the rim and comes to Doran. Here she comes, Lana Doran with the layup. Friendly roll. It's 20-18. California has their first lead.
And good job by Lana Doran, just taking it all the way, making sure she didn't drop her shoulder there and get called for the charge, but was able to put the layup up and in.
6:20 left to go in the half, and we're going to have a foul on the floor away from the action.
And that looks like it's actually going to be Shatara Parsons on that one. And Shatara Parsons getting the foul there as she was pushing off on that play.
So Apke will inbound it. 6:20 left to go in the half. Apke gives it to Jaron Gill, and she'll bring it up the floor. Gill gives it over to Apke. Apke thought about attacking the paint, but kicks it out for Brennan instead, who takes a long 3 off the front of the rim. Rebound comes to Frotz, scrambling to get control, and gets stolen away by Kaufman in an awkward steal. Frotz looked like she was trying to regain control. Now here it comes underneath for Apke, and she sends that layup through. We're tied at 20.
And good job by Seton Hill capitalizing on that weird kind of steal there by Kaufman.
Now here's Glenn with a long 3 off the front of the rim. No good. The rebound comes to Frotz. Frotz kicks it back out for Glenn. She'll reset. Gives it to Doran. Doran on the near side. Over to Glenn at the corner. Glenn attacking the baseline. Sends it up. Draws the foul. It goes through and one. 22-20 pending the free throw.
And great job by Mickey Glenn taking that shot, getting the foul called, and looking at now a 3-point shot there for Mickey Glenn.
Mickey Glenn, one of the best free throw shooters that this California Vulcans team has. About an 83% success rate from the charity stripe.
Yeah, Mickey Glenn, just an all-around great player as we see her going to take her one and only free throw.
5:27 left to go in the half as Glenn steps to the free throw line. Her shot up, her shot good. 23-20. So now the inbound comes to Lindsay Misford. She'll bring it up the far side. Crossing the court now, coming to the near side. Tries to go underneath for Apke, but Frotz was right there. Stole the pass away, gives it to Doran. Now here comes Doran, over to Frotz. Frotz looking for an option, but resets. Gives it to Doran. Doran back to Frotz over in the corner. Now to Doran, cross court for Glenn. Glenn, thought about attacking the lane. She backs out instead. Now to Frotz, who takes a long jumper for 3. That falls through. 26-20.
And Caitlin Frotz hitting that 3 like she has before in previous games. Definitely a good job by California passing the ball across court and then back across the court again to get the 3 points there, get the defense out of alignment as it's going to go out of bounds on Sierra Barrett here.
Yeah, Sierra Barrett playing a very aggressive defense, sending the ball out of bounds on Lindsay Misford, and she'll get a retry at the inbound from right in front of the scorer's table. Apke inbounding it. Kicks it out for Alexandra Hay, but that almost got stolen away by Doran. Recovered by the Griffins, though, and now Frotz gets it. Glenn falls down. crazy turn of events as Frotz has it now. She gives it over far side to Doran. Now back to Glenn. Glenn near side for Frotz. Far side for Glenn. Looking for an option. Goes into the corner. Takes a jumper for 2. That's a long 2. It's good. 28-20.
And a great job there by Sierra Barrett, taking that long 2-point shot as the defense was out of alignment again. California doing a great job of handling this press at Seton Hill. Not press, but zone defense that Seton Hill has been playing with the entire first half.
And now Seton Hill takes a timeout. 4:15 left to go in the half. California right back in the thick of things, 28-20. And it seemed like at the beginning of the game, it wasn't going to be this close.
And California also doing a really good job of playing kind of like the press here, as we see here. CUTV Sports 1, the YouTube page here for CUTV, one place you can find all our sports shoots. You'll find this game on there. It's really great for if you live far and away.
Yeah, just go to youtube.com/CUTV Sports 1, and no matter where you are in the world, you can watch CUTV's sports programming, and also there's a news center channel that CUTV has. If you go to youtube.com/CUTV News Center. I know, Anthony, you're from about midway across the state, right? And you out of the broadcast radius of CUTV, but you can see the programming from that YouTube channel.
And I definitely use it. I like to use it not only to tell my parents and grandparents and all that, but I like to use the YouTube channel because I can be anywhere on my laptop or whatnot, put on some headphones, and listen to how I'm doing and how I'm doing on the broadcast.
So with 4:15 to go in the half, the Griffins bring it up, led the way by Alexandra Hay. She gives it near side for Mariah Wells. Sends it far side for Mastriani. Megan Mastriani tried to go back to Wells, but the pass flies out of bounds.
And California doing a really good job of getting in those passing lanes, so they got to go above California's heads on that one, and it just went over everyone's head and out of bounds. It's California ball.
So I think the clock stopped, should have stopped with 4 minutes on the break, and Barrett is appears to be injured here.
As we see Shatara Parsons coming in for Sierra Barrett, as Sierra Barrett gets tended to by the athletic training staff.
So now the Vulcans will be inbounding it, and here comes Mickey Glenn as Barrett gets tended to by the training staff over on the left bench. It looked like she might have a cut on her face. So we'll be, if we can see what's going on, we'll get you updated as soon as we can. But now Glenn has it, gives it over to Nelson. Brittany Nelson checking into the game. The rebound goes out of bounds off of the post holding the basket up.
As Lana Doran was going up for that shot, she ended up getting fouled on that one. And that one's going to go against Chelsea Apke, and that's her second foul, as Lana Doran is going to take 2 foul shots. She is 66.7% from the free throw line.
First shot up, first shot good. Lana Doran makes it 29-20. The 5'10" guard, junior, out of Northamptonshire, England. Doran at the charity stripe. Second shot up, second shot off the side of the rim, no good. The rebound comes to Nelson, though. She sends it back up off the front of the rim. Now Parsons with the rebound draws another foul.
And great job by California getting that rebound off of Lana Doran's missed free throw. And that was Brittany Nelson doing a really good job getting the rebound, then getting it out to Shatara Parsons, who went up for a shot and got fouled.
Parsons at the free throw line now. First shot up, first shot good. Makes it a double-digit lead for California as we see a substitution check into the game for the Griffins. Parsons from the free throw line on the season, a 54% success rate. Improving that right now as the second shot goes up and off the back of the rim, but Nelson with another rebound gives it to Parsons, and Parsons draws another foul.
And Tara Parsons and Brittany Nelson doing a great job. Teamwork there on that one. Getting the missed shot, getting the free throw, and then getting another free throw after that. It's just crazy turn of events here for California.
So Seton Hill with 2 quick fouls, or 3 quick fouls, I should say. Seton Hill has 16 fouls now, California with 4. And not to mention 3 offensive rebounds in a row for California. Offensive rebounds, very important in a game such as this one. Parsons' shot is up, misses both of them. The score is 30-20, and now Nelson with another shot, and that one finally falls through. 32-20.
Now 4 offensive rebounds for California, and all those offensive rebounds came off of those free throws, but finally Brittany Nelson gets those 2 points after she had another great rebound.
So Alexandra Hay has it near far side. Right in front of the California bench, she dishes it out to Mastriani. Mastriani down the baseline, gets rebounded by Doran. Now here comes Mickey Glenn. Glenn brings it up half court. Goes near side for Paige Wright. 2:55 left to go in the half. Wright sends it far side for Glenn. Glenn attacks the paint, sends the jumper up, and it falls through. 34-20.
And good job by Mickey Glenn driving through the lane, but then using a great jump stop to get those 2 points as she had a great free throw shot there.
So now Alexandra Hay sends it over on the far side now, over in the corner for Torres, but the pass gets stolen away and ripped out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be California possession here.
And that one looked like it went off of Kinross for Seton Hill as she ripped it out of California's hands.
Now we're seeing Jaron Gill check into the game for the Griffins. Alexandra Hay takes a seat. 2.5 left to go in the first half.
And it appears that last timeout that we had was our media timeout, so we'll just keep it here for a while as we missed our usual commercial break.
Mickey Glenn brings it up half court, gives it to Paige Wright. Wright back to Glenn, back to Wright, back to Glenn, playing catch. Glenn goes far side for Doran. Looking for an option, 5 on the shot clock. Mickey Glenn's got to hurry here, takes a jumper, and unfriendly bounce out of the rim. Nelson with the offensive rebound. Now Parsons with the offensive rebound, but unfortunately neither of those fell through, and the rebound comes to Seton Hill.
And Nelson and Parsons doing a great job again getting those rebounds.
That's about 5 offensive rebounds for Nelson now. As Brennan has it, sends a jumper up for 2. Off the side, no good. The rebound comes to California. They'll bring it up the court. 100 seconds left to go. Glenn resets. Sends it near side for Paige Wright. Right back to Glenn. Underneath. Sends a shot up, no good. The rebound comes to Seton Hill. Now Gill has it. Gill down the far side, sends a line drive up to the side of the rim. Goes out of bounds on the rebound. But no, there was a foul on the floor. I beg your pardon, actually.
And that foul is going to go against number 1, Paige Wright there for California.
So that's California's 5th team foul. That's Paige Wright's 2nd personal. Seton Hill will inbound it from underneath their own basket. Seton Hill gives it to Kinross Obifool, and she sends a hook shot over, but that one's no good. The rebound comes to Glenn. Glenn attacks the paint, sends the layup up off the side of the rim. Now we have a foul.
And another foul. That's going to be the 7th foul for Seton Hill as Mickey Glenn's going to be taking another 2 shots. There almost should have been a foul down here as Paige Wright got the ball, and it looked like Kinross Obifool tried to take it out of her, and it looked like it almost was a foul.
1:01 on the clock here in the first half. Glenn at the free throw line for the Vulcans. First shot up. First shot good. 35-20 as we see a substitution come into the game for the Griffins. .101 on the clock, like we said before. Glenn on the season leading the way in terms of free throw shooting for this California team, along with Precious Martin, who has an 87% success rate. Second shot up and good for Glenn. It makes it 36-20. Jaron Gill brings it up near side. Gill crossing over now, goes underneath for Mastriani. Mastriani thought about attacking, but it comes to Martin instead. Sends a long pass for Doran. Doran attacks, sends the layup up, and it falls through. 38-20.
Good job, Lana Doran, attacking the paint on that one, making it now 38-20 in favor of the Vulcans.
Gill goes over into the corner for Torres. Back out to Gill. 30 seconds left to go in the first half. Kelly Brennan with it now. Brennan thought about attacking, but being pressured by Glenn very well. Glenn almost stripped it out. Kelly Brennan finds a lane, sends the layup through, and good. 38-22.
And finally, a lucky shot comes in for Seton Hill.
Shot clock is off. 10 seconds left. Glenn will reset. One last charge here. Glenn thought about it, kicks it back out for Doran, who sends the three in and good right before the buzzer. 41-22, and the clock expires.
Great shot there by Lana Doran, and a good job, good pass by Mickey Glenn. Seeing that Lana Doran was wide open for the three-point shot. Good feed to Lana Doran, great three-point shot.
Boy, talk about momentum going into the Vulcan locker room right now. So, after one half of play, California leads the way over Seton Hill, 41-22. Don't go anywhere, folks. Second half action is next, here on CUTV.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
After one half of play, the 18th ranked California Vulcans are leading Seton Hill 41-22 in women's basketball. The second half is moments away from beginning. Good day, friends, once again. My name is Cody Jeanette. Joining me today is Anthony D'Agostino. Let's take a look at the halftime stats.
And halftime stats, Seton Hill only 9 for 23 from the field goal. California 16 for 37. Definitely doing a better job there. 3 points, 50-50 on both sides. But the thing that really stands out is California's rebounding. 23 rebounds and only 15 for Seton Hill.
You got to take into consideration Brittany Nelson, yes.
Brittany Nelson, 5 rebounds, and all of those came off the foul shots. She has been playing really, really well today, especially in terms of rebounding. Turnovers, 13 for Seton Hill. Definitely don't want to be over 10 before the first half is over, as they were at 13.
And California only has 5, so they're playing relatively clean basketball. And we're going to see Seton Hill inbound it now,
as California is on a 21-2 point run coming into the second half.
Now look, here comes Mickey Glenn trying to steal the inbound away, but Apke finds her target. That's Gill, and Gill will bring it back up. Jaron Gill gives it over underneath. Near side now for Apke. Takes a jumper. That's no good. The rebound comes to California, led the way by Mickey Glenn.
And Caitlin Frost was right underneath there. Just no Seton Hill player around to get the rebound, as Caitlin Frost was wide open for the rebound.
So here's Glenn with it now. Thought about attacking the paint, but she goes underneath instead to Martin, and she draws a foul on her jumper attempt.
And good job, Precious Martin there, drawing the foul, as she's now going to get 2 shots. And Precious Martin is 87.5% from the free throw line this season.
Well, she's someone that normally doesn't go there too often, but she still has a very high success rate for it. And her first shot is up and good. California now leads by 20, 42-22. Martin, second shot up, second shot off the side of the rim, and the rebound goes to Seton Hill. So now here's Jaron Gill bringing it up the far side for the Griffins. Gill gives it to Jenna Kaufman. Kaufman to Kelly Brennan. Brennan at the top of the point, goes over far side now for Gill. Underneath for Mastriani. Mastriani with the hook shot goes through, 42-24.
And good job, Mastriani there, going around Caitlin Frost. to get those 2 points.
Oh, that's a palindrome, 42-24. So now 18:55 left to go in the second half, I beg your pardon. Frotz takes a long jumper for 3 off the front of the rim. Rebound comes to Mahadi, takes a second chance, and that falls through, 44-24.
And great job by Emma Mahadi on that one, getting the rebound and then fading away on that shot as she was kind of off balance going for that 2-point shot.
So now here's Kelly Brennan with it. Brennan goes to Gill. Gill attacks the paint, tried to send the shot up, but it fell way short and goes out of bounds.
And it looks like it's going to go out of bounds on Caitlin Frotz as Seton Hill is going to have the ball.
18 seconds on the shot clock for Seton Hill to work with once they inbound it. The inbound comes to Gill. Jaren Gill goes underneath for Jenna Apke. Hook shot in and good. 44-26.
And good job, Gill. They're getting it to Apke as Apke was just coming around the back door on that one, getting behind all the California defenders for 2 points.
Glenn sends it over to Frotz for 3. That falls through. 47-26.
And great response there by California. Getting those 3 points is definitely really good for your momentum, even though you're leading 47-26.
So now here's a jumper by Gill that falls through. It's 47-28, and California will inbound. Mickey Glenn leading the way, directing traffic a little bit as she crosses half court. Initial pressure by Kelly Brennan. Tries to go near side. Glenn, far side for Frotz. Frotz attacks the baseline, sends the layup up and good. 49-28.
And great job, Caitlin Frotz, going down the baseline, getting the hook shot up, and getting the foul drawn, as she now has a chance for 3 points to make it 50-28.
So now the and one goes to Jenna Kaufman. That's her second foul of the game. Frotz, the first scorer in this game to reach double digits with 10 points. Her free throw is up and short. Rebound comes to Martin. Martin, good job stripping that away from Apke. Now here comes Glenn. She'll reset over to Doran on the far side. Doran sends a cross court for Glenn. Glenn goes underneath for Martin. Martin with a jumper for 2. Little too soft. The rebound goes to Mahadi. Big offensive rebound by California. Martin's waving for it from the free throw line, off the side, and rebounded by Apke.
Good decision there by Precious Martin to want that ball right at the free throw line. She missed it, but it was definitely a good decision to take that shot right there as there was no one guarding her.
So now here's Kelly Brennan with a long jumper for 3. That falls through, 49-31.
And she was about 3 feet away from the three-point line as she shot that one from way downtown, although it was right down the center. So if you have a good aim, it's kind of an easy shot to make if no one's guarding you.
So that was a Paige Wright style 3-point shot. We saw Wright in the first half make a lot of those 3-point shots. Now Mahadi has it underneath. The rebound, though, comes to Kaufman on her failed shot attempt.
And that's just really hard, trying to get that shot into the net as there's going to be a foul called against Emma Mahadi. Now it's just really hard to get that ball into the net whenever you're right underneath the net. As we see a substitution, it's going to be Sierra Barrett coming in, but instead of number 5, it's going to be number 14 as we see a bandage on her face as well, Cody.
Yeah, Barrett in the first half had a little bit of an injury where she suffered a little bit of blood coming out of her face, and that got on her jersey, so she can't play with that jersey anymore. And so she changes her number for this game to number 14. So don't get confused. Normally you see number 5, but she's 14 now. So now here's Gill looking for an option, gives it underneath to Kaufman. Kaufman in the corner for Apke. Takes a jumper, air ball, misses everything. The rebound comes to Paige Wright, who gives it to Mickey Glenn. Mickey Glenn with a long pass intercepted by Apke, intended for Martin. Or Barrett, I beg your pardon, excuse me.
Apke did a great job jumping up there to intercept that pass.
Now here's Brennan with it. Brennan dribbles, gives it to Mastriani, who takes the shot in and good. It's 49-33.
And Mastriani doing a good job going up against Paige Wright on that one, going up around her to get the hook shot in.
15:45 left to go in the first half. Glenn near side for Doran. Doran tries to go underneath for Barrett. Barrett with the hook shot in and good. 51-33.
And great job, Sierra Barrett, coming off the bench after that injury, going up and getting those 2 points.
So now here comes Mastriani. She goes over far side, but draws a foul on the shot.
And that one's going to be Sierra Barrett. She was going for the ball. She was trying to knock the ball out, but instead gets the hands as well.
There's 15:25 left to go in the first half. We've reached a pause in the action. 51-33 the score in favor of California right now.
As we said before, California doing a really good job of going up and beating the zone that Seton Hill has been playing the entire game. As we see the PSAC stat rankings here, California 4th in scoring, where Seton Hill is 8th. You know, Brennan is definitely a good one for Seton Hill as she helps them get to that 8th point. Scoring defense, whenever California takes the ball away from their opposing team, they usually get points, and that's why they're 3rd in scoring defense. And scoring margin, they always have, or usually they always have big leads, and that's why they're 2nd and Seton Hill is 8th.
Yeah, normally, as I've been saying for the past couple weeks now, those stat rankings for California have been improving with their recent games that they've played. It's been going nothing but up. They've been climbing the ladder on those stat rankings and showing some very impressive numbers during their recent games. So the stoppage is seconds away from ceasing, and then we're going to see Megan Mastriani go to the free throw line. Mastriani on the season, a 68% success rate from the free throw line.
And this is the first time California has allowed Seton Hill to go to the free throw line this entire game so far. So good job, California. Though they had fouls in the first half, they weren't shooting fouls. So California doing a good job making sure that they don't foul and give Seton Hill some possible free points.
First shot up, first shot good. Mastriani makes it 51-34. That's Mastriani's 7th point of the game. And now she has 8 as she makes the score 51-35. So now California inbounds. Mickey Glenn crosses half court. Goes over to the far side. Sends it near side for Doran. Cross court, now back to Frotz at the point. Frotz. Near side now for Doran. Looking for a lane. Finds it, gets the ball stolen away. Here comes Kelly Brennan. Brennan goes underneath for Mastriani. Hook shot in and good. 51-37.
And that was just kind of a bad pass there by Caitlin Frotz. Got the ball stolen away from her. She was going to go to Precious Martin, and Seton Hill just comes right down the court to get those 2 points.
So now here comes Frotz, kicks it, loses it. Brennan on the long stretch pass. Here she comes, sends the layup in and good. 51-39.
And that was definitely a mismatch, as Mickey Glenn was not really a mismatch, but Mickey Glenn's 5'7" and Kelly Brennan's 5'7", so evenly matched there. So Mickey Glenn would have to jump up to try to block that, as California now takes a timeout.
California with their first timeout of the half, as Seton Hill looked like they might have gotten ready to break on a run of their own. But then Jess Strom said, I'm going to put a stop to that, calling the timeout.
And definitely good job, as the ball hasn't been going California's way here, as it's been bouncing around. Seton Hill taking the ball back and getting those 2 points off those turnovers. As we look again at the regional rankings, Livingstone in first, but that may be short-lived, as the committee who selects it did not take into account the ineligible player that was on their team, and in that case they had to forfeit most of their wins, which may give California or Indiana first place. We'll definitely see if California is able to hold this one off and if Indiana is able to win tonight. Indiana is actually playing Slippery Rock today and is winning 53-40 with 15:57 left.
Yeah, so California, if they want to maintain their high ranking in the regional rankings, very important that they win this game, but they also need some help from teams like Indiana and Bloomsburg to maybe get another loss under their belt. That would really help them in getting that first ranking advantage. 14:35 left to go in the second half. California will be inbounding it. Paige Wright gives it to Mickey Glenn, and she'll bring it up. Brennan's ready to meet her at half court. Glenn giving directions. Goes over far side. Emma Mahadi's ready to check into the game whenever the time comes. Glenn over to Frotz on the far side. Now kicks it back out for Glenn. Now here's Wright with a long three. Just short. Rebound comes to Doran before going out of bounds.
And that one's going to go out of bounds on California. This is going to be Seton Hill ball.
Frotz takes a seat on the bench for Emma Mahadi, who checks into the game for the Vulcans. Jaron Gill will lead the charge back up for the Griffins. Gill, far side. looking for an option. Almost traveled, but stayed put. She gives it to Kelly Brennan. Brennan gives it to Mastriani. Mastriani to Apke. Underneath for Mastriani again. Hook shot in and good. 51-41.
And good job, Mastriani, faking going right and then going left instead on Paige Wright, and she gets those 2 points.
Now Mickey Glenn has it at the top of the key, gives it over to Mahadi. Shatara Parsons is ready to check into the game now too for the Vulcans. Glenn gives it to Wright, underneath for Barrett. Barrett back out to Wright. She finds Glenn. Glenn attacks the post. Shot is way short, but the rebound comes to Mahadi, who sends it through. 53-41.
Good job, Emma Mahadi there, getting the rebound as Caitlin Frost on that one. Looked like she was falling down.
So now here's Mastriani. She gives it over to Brennan. Brennan looking for a lane. Attacks. Sends the shot up. A little too strong. The rebound comes to California. Here comes Mickey Glenn. Glenn stops. Waits for directing traffic. There's a substitution ready to check into the game for the Griffins as well. Mahadi has it. Goes underneath for Barrett. Barrett pushes away the defender. Unfriendly bounce off the rim though, and the ball comes flying out of bounds. And it looks like it'll be California's possession.
Yeah, and it tipped off of Chelsea Apke and Jaren Gill as they were trying to fight for the ball. Ended up going out of bounds as the ball was, as you said, really going pretty fast, so none of them had a chance to really control it. As it's now going to be California ball.
So Emma Mahadi will inbound it. She gives it to Mickey Glenn. And Glenn will reset the offense. Glenn over to Doran, back to Glenn, takes a jumper for 3, off the side, no good. The rebound goes out of bounds.
And Jenna Coughlin on that one just could not control the rebound. She had it on the baseline, but it goes off her fingertips and out of bounds.
Kinross Obifull checks into the game for the Griffins. Glenn sends the long inbound to Mahadi. Mahadi goes underneath for Parsons, who sends it to Barrett with the layup in and good. 55-41.
And it looked like California caught Seton Hill sleeping on that one on defense, as there was just a little bounce pass to Sierra Barrett for 2 points.
So now here's Brennan with it. Kelly Brennan goes over to Gill. Gill, far side now for Wells, I beg your pardon. Gives it back to Brennan. Brennan loses it. Stolen away by Glenn. Here comes Mahadi with it now. Mahadi up the far side, tries to go for the layup, but draws a foul.
And that foul's going to go against Seton Hill's Mariah Wells as she was blocking Emma Mahadi from getting up to the basket.
So the clock stops with 12:04 left to go in the half. Mahadi at the free throw line. 79% success rate. First shot falls just short. So the score remains 55-41. Mahadi, the senior guard out of Albury, Australia. The second shot also falls short and rebounded by Seton Hill. Jaren Gill will bring it up for the Griffins. Under 12 left to go in the half. Gill, near side to Brennan. Stops with it, looks for a lane, finds it, jumper for 2, falls through, 55-43.
And Brennan there just shows how good she is. She can just take that shot from anywhere, and she's done really well. And now 16 points for Brennan.
Handful of substitutions ready to check into the game for the Griffins when the time comes. Mahadi has it now, near side. Goes over into the corner for Glenn. Glenn lost it. Controlled now by Gill. And she finds Obifull, who goes over far side now for Wells, who finds Gill. And crazy turn of events, but Seton Hill finally settles down with it. Brennan has it, gives it back to Gill. Gill tries to attack the paint. No foul called on the shot. And Seton Hill, looks like they might have called a timeout here.
And either it's going to be a timeout or it's actually going to be California ball. It's going to be the media timeout.
So there's 11 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in regulation. California leads the way 55-43 over the Seton Hill Griffins. Don't go anywhere, folks. More second half action from the Convocation Center is next here on CUTV.
NCAA Division II has much to cheer about, as nearly 100,000 student athletes compete with passion and pride. And I'm pleased to share the best news of all. Student athletes are outperforming the rest of the D2 student body in graduation rates. Just another reason why you'll hear us say with pride, I chose Division II. Learn more at d2sa.org.
With 18 institutions, my conference is the largest league across all NCAA classifications. With nearly 7,000 student athletes competing in 23 championships, my conference sponsors the most championships in Division II. With a 78% academic success rate, my conference graduates student athletes well above the national average. We compete with passion. We take pride in our efforts in the arena and in the classroom. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Passion, pride, Pennsylvania.
"55-43 is your score with 11:07 left to go in the second half here at the Convocation Center. California over Seton Hill. California will be inbounding it after California maintained possession, and now here comes Mickey Glenn. Glenn up the far side, goes over into the corner for Mahadi. Mahadi almost lost it, but controls it. She's trapped in there and calls a timeout. Very wise decision by Mahadi.
Yeah, very smart decision by Emma Mahadi, not getting that 5-second violation, as Seton Hill had two players just hounding her, so she could not pass the ball anywhere.
So the clock takes a stop with 10:52 left on it as Mahadi takes the timeout. Mahadi was trapped in the corner there. Didn't really have many options, but there is one option that you, watching at home, you have to go onto Facebook and giving California University Television a like and send us feedback. Let us know how we're doing. It's a great way for the fans as well as current students and the alumni to all stay connected all in one place.
And we share our links to our videos that we post on our YouTube page, which we teased earlier. So if you like us on Facebook and haven't found us on YouTube yet, you usually can find our videos on our Facebook page.
So now the inbound comes to Barrett. Barrett gives it back to Glenn. Glenn sends it over in the corner for Parsons, kicks it back out for Mahadi, who takes a long three. That one falls through, 58-43.
And great passes by California, just getting Seton Hill's defense a little rattled there so Emma Mahadi could take the three-point shot.
Lindsay Misford brings it up, gives it to Alexandra Hay. Hay looking for a lane. Being pressured very well by Doran, finds Misford over on the far side. Misford almost lost it. Glenn dives for it, crossing half court. And now it's kicked by Mahadi. And there was no over and back violation because Glenn tipped the ball over the over half court.
And it was very interesting because Mickey Glenn could have been called there for the pushing foul if the refs had chosen that, but instead they let the players fight for the ball. Going to be kicked by Emma Mahadi, so it's going to be Seton Hill ball.
So now here's Dorn with pressure on Hay. Hay gives it over far side for Wells, who takes a long three, and that falls through, 58-46.
Wow, that was about a 5-foot three-point shot. That was from way downtown. California wasn't defending her because she hasn't really taken a three-point shot today.
So now Doran gives it near side to Glenn. Cross court for Mahadi, who takes a long three of her own, but that one falls just short. Parsons goes for the rebound over in the corner. Kicks it back out for Mahadi. Cross court for Doran, now to Glenn. Handful of substitutions ready to check into the game for the Griffins. Mahadi underneath for Barrett. Barrett with a hook shot, no good. The rebound comes to the out of bounds line where it goes. It's still California's possession.
And that was a great job by Mahadi to Sierra Barrett on that one. Just fed it right to her. Just Sierra Barrett could not get that shot away to fall in, but it was definitely a great feed by Emma Mahadi to Sierra Barrett.
The long inbound pass comes to Sierra Barrett. Gives it to Glenn. Now to Mahadi. Mahadi thought about attacking, but she gives it to Parsons instead. Parsons draws the foul after, an unfriendly bounce. Takes her shot out of the rim.
And Shatera was just looking for that one to just fall in so that she would only take one shot and the 2 points would count. But instead, she's going to be taking two shots for that foul.
So Parsons, on the season coming into this game, about a 54% free throw shooter. First shot misses.
She's 1 for 5 today, though.
A few substitutions come into the game for the Griffins. Parsons, second shot up. Second shot goes through, 59-46.
Make that 2 for 6.
So now here comes Alexandra Hay, sends a long pass, intercepted by Glenn. Looked like that might have been intended for Misfit, but Glenn was right there. Her shot goes off the bottom of the backboard, and she draws a foul.
And Mickey Glenn there, as you can see on the video, she was looking for someone to pass to. Her eyes were going down the court all the time to see if there was anybody open that she could go, but instead she takes it, drives through the lane, gets the foul called, and now she has a chance to take 2 foul shots. She's one of the best shooters for California.
Glenn, first shot up, first shot good. It's now 60-46. Jaron Gill checks into the game for Alexandra Hay for the Griffins. Glenn, second shot up, second shot good. 61-46, the Vulcans lead it now. Misfit will bring it back up for the Griffins. Misfit going over on the far side now. Gives it underneath for Doran. Doran with the intercepted pass and long stretch pass for Barrett, but Barrett had a little too much forward momentum as she was right at the baseline when she caught it. But now here's Glenn with the layup attempt. The rebound comes to Seton Hill. Mariah Wells decides to take it back for herself. Wells gives it over to Gill. Gill kicks it back out for Lindsay Misfit. Misfit going down the far side, finds Kaufman, who sends the hook shot up off the side of the rim. No good. The rebound comes to Parsons, and she finds Glenn.
And good job, Parsons. They're going up for the rebound as Cha-Cha Williams was going up for that as well.
So now Glenn has it. Far side for Doran. Handful of substitutions ready to come in for Seton Hill, as well as Brittany Nelson for the Vulcans. Doran's three-point shot is up and no good. The rebound comes to Parsons, and she gets her 2 points in, 63-46.
And good rebound there by Shatara Parsons, getting the rebound and then getting the 2 points as well.
Parsons now has 4 points on the game. That long three by Wells is no good. The rebound comes to Mahadi. 7:35 left to go in the second half. Mahadi, far side for Doran. Doran goes underneath for Barrett. Barrett tries to kick it back off for Glenn. She has it. Thought about a three, but kicks it back instead. Glenn to Doran. One-handed pass underneath to Parsons, who sends the layup in and good. 65-46.
And Shatara Parsons just went right through 2 defenders as she was contorting her body all sorts of ways to get those 2 points there. Great shot by Shatara Parsons.
Wells has it on the far side. She finds Torres over in the corner. Her shot's a little too strong, and there's a foul.
And that one's going to be going against Seton Hill. Looked like that one was going over the back. And it's going to go against Jenna Kaufman. Her 4th foul of the game.
So Kaufman's now in a little bit of foul trouble as one more foul, and she is fouled out of the game. So 7:01 left to go in the half. California still leads at 65-46.
And California doing a really good job still on offense, getting the rebounds, those offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds. And they're converting those points too.
Well, right now, California definitely has a lot of momentum coming forward. We saw them get a slow start in the first half, but you know, you said it yourself, Anthony. They're well known for their slow starts, but once they get into the groove, they're into that groove and they don't get out of it. And there's one way that you can keep track of the grooves that they go in on CalVulcans.com, the newly revamped CalVulcans.com, if I may say. Our sports information director, Matthew Kiefer, is the one in charge of it, and he's been doing a fantastic job with that webpage.
And our upcoming broadcast here for CUTV, February 21st here Saturday at the Convocation Center. It's going to be against Gannon. The men's game is going to be an alumni game, and there's also a Hall of Fame induction ceremony that day too. So come on out. If you can't come out, definitely watch it on TV. February 25th at Slippery Rock, the last game of the regular season. And February 28th, the PSAC first round. The women may have a bye, the men might be in there. And coming up later after that is going to be the PSAC second round, which the women will most likely be playing in.
So there's 7:01 left to go in the half. Barrett will inbound it. She looks for Glenn. Here comes Glenn, all the way from down the other side. California inbounding it with the lead, 65-46. Glenn taking her time, crossing half court. Cece Dixon goes to the scores table, ready to check in. Glenn from right in front of the California bench. Looking for an option. Attacks the line, draws a foul. Little push off there.
Yeah, Mickey Glenn doing a really good job driving down the side. On the far side is going to be a foul. Going to be called against Gill, as it's going to be 1-on-1 here for Mickey Glenn.
That is Seton Hill's 7th foul of the half, so it will send California into the bonus, which sends Mickey Glenn to the free throw line.
And California doing a really good job, only having 2 fouls so far this entire half.
Glenn, shot up, shot no good. Rebound just goes to Nelson, who gives it back out to Doran, and Glenn will control it again.
And Brittany Nelson doing a really good job. Now has 6 rebounds.
And almost 2 points there, as that shot was just a little too strong, but the rebound kicks out to Kelly Brennan. Here she comes, only Glenn to beat, and her layup is a little too strong. Apke has it now, and the shot's not going to count as there was a foul on the floor.
And that foul's going to be against Cece Dixon. She was going for the block, ended up getting the hand.
So there's 6:25 left to go in the half now. Apke will go to the free throw line. Chelsea Apke, about a 69% success rate. Misses the first attempt. Score remains 65-46. Apke, the senior out of Mount Lebanon. Second shot up and good. It's now 65-47. So now California will be inbounding it. Here comes Mickey Glenn. Glenn, nice dribble work going through 2 defenders. Resets, gives some directions. Goes over far side to Lana Doran. Doran back to Glenn, underneath for Barrett. Barrett tried to kick it back out, and Glenn has it now. Takes a jumper for 2, that falls through. 67-47.
And another great job by Mickey Glenn, just going right through 2 defenders there to then stop her dribble, then take the shot to get the 2 points. It's now a 20-point lead for the Vulcans.
So now here's Mastriani with it. Tries to go through the paint and draws a foul. It looks like it'll be on Brittany Nelson.
Yeah, and it is going to go against Brittany Nelson, as she was doing a really good job going around there to get the 2 points.
That's Brittany Nelson's first foul of the game, California's 4th of the half. Mastriani's first shot is up and no good. So the score remains 67-47. Mastriani, 68% success from the charity stripe on the season. Second shot up, second shot good. It's now 67-48. California inbounds. Glenn crossing half court, being pressured by Gill. Glenn, she had a wide open lane down the paint, but lost the dribble to Mastriani. She gives it to Gill, who takes a jumper for 2. That one's no good. The rebound comes to Nelson. Nelson gives it to Glenn, who will get a retry.
And Brittany Nelson, 5'10", doing a really good job today, getting all those rebounds. And we've just been saying that on repeat today. Brittany Nelson getting offensive and now defensive rebounds.
Now that pass almost got stolen away, but Barrett comes down with it. Glenn has it now, and she'll reset the offense. 10 on the shot clock. Glenn looking for options. Doesn't have much. Tries to go underneath for Barrett, but that pass gets stolen away. And now here come the Griffins, back up the floor. Tried to go underneath, and Nelson gets that one swatted away, and Glenn with control of it now.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of a weak pass there, and Brittany Nelson saw it all the way and said, nah, that ain't happening.
You see a substitution ready to check into the game for the Griffins. Glenn goes underneath to Nelson with a jumper for 2, no good. The rebound comes to Barrett, kicks it back out to Glenn, and she'll reset it. Time management becoming a key for the Vulcans now. 4:31 left to go in the half as Doran's shot is off the bottom of the backboard. Long stretch pass for Brennan, hook shot in and good, 67-50.
And that was not a bad try there by Lana Doran. She did a little spin move, tried to hook it up, ended up missing that one. But then Brennan just doing a really good job speeding down the court to get those 2 points.
Glenn gives it over to Dixon. Dixon sends it cross court for Doran. Doran back out to Glenn. Glenn gives it to Nelson. Nelson underneath for Barrett. Barrett with the layup in and good. 69-50. 3:57 left to go in the half.
And good vision there by Brittany Nelson to see Sierra Barrett sitting at that low post to get those 2 points.
Sierra Barrett now with 10 points in today's game. Brennan has it now. Gives it near side for Apke. Chelsea Apke underneath. Sends the jumper up by Obifool. That's no good. The rebound comes out to Doran. Doran hands it back to Glenn. Glenn will bring it up the near side.
And California definitely slowing their pace down, trying to eat up as much clock as they can.
Now Doran has it, tries to attack the post, kicks it back out for Barrett instead. Barrett almost had a wide open shot, but kicks it back out. And now here's Doran from the corner off the side of the backboard. Ooh, Apke got checked on the way down. And now here comes Mastriani with it. Mastriani sends the layup in and good. It's 69-52, timeout Seton Hill.
And that's a good job by Mastriani, faking out Mickey Glenn on that one. And it's just Mastriani versus Mickey Glenn on that shot. Mastriani doing a good job as the defender can't know where the offensive player is going to go right away.
So with 3:09 left to go in the game, 69-52, your score. California over Seton Hill. More second half action next on CUTV.
With 18 institutions, my conference is the largest league across all NCAA classifications. With nearly 7,000 student athletes competing in 23 championships, my conference sponsors the most championships in Division II. With a 78% academic success rate, my conference graduates student athletes well above the national average. We compete with passion. We take pride in our efforts in the arena and in the classroom. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Passion, pride, Pennsylvania.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
.309 left to go in regulation. California with a 69-52 lead over the Griffins of Seton Hill. Mickey Glenn brings it up the court for the Vulcans. California definitely going into time management mode here as Glenn has it at the point, sends it in the corner now for Dixon, but she kicks it back out to Glenn. Far side for Doran. Doran thought about attacking the baseline, but goes underneath now instead. Here's Dixon with the layup. Unfriendly roll off the side of the rim. Rebound comes to Kaufman.
And Dixon on that one, instead of trying to go for the empty net, she could have went for the kiss off the backboard instead.
So now here's a long three-point attempt by Wells. It falls well short. Wells, near side, 10 on the shot clock. Tries to attack, and the shot's not going to count as she was guilty of a travel on the way in.
Yeah, just lost her dribble on that one as she was going up for the shot and going to get called for the travel on that one.
2:23 left to go in the game. Glenn giving directions before she even crosses half court. Initial pressure by Jaron Gill. Far side now. Doran has it. Doran gives it near side to Glenn. Glenn attacks the paint, finds Barrett for a nice layup, 71-52.
And Glenn to Barrett. We've said this before, just doing a great job. Great pair work on that one as Barrett knew exactly where to go and Glenn knew exactly where to pass it.
A couple of substitutions are ready to check into the game for the Griffins. Near side now, that's Torres with it, or not Torres, I beg your pardon, that's Alexandria deep actually. She finds Kelly Brennan. Brennan with the layup in and good, 71-54.
And Brennan doing a good job utilizing that backboard to kiss it off there and get it into the net for 2 points.
Brennan now has 20 points on the day to match her jersey number, 20. 90 seconds left in the game. Doran kicks it out for Dixon, who takes a shot, and it gets rebounded by Seton Hill. Now here comes Jaron Gill. Gill gives it over to Wells, who takes a long three off the front of the rim, and the rebound comes to Glenn. Glenn will take her time going across half court. Just over a minute left to go in the half. Glenn gives it to Barrett. Barrett underneath for Nelson. Nelson with the layup, a little too strong, but the rebound comes to Barrett, and it falls through, 73-54.
And a great alley-oop there by Sierra Barrett, just getting that rebound. Now, you would see that in a men's game, and that would have been a dunk.
50 seconds left in the game. Gill, far side, finds Brennan. And now, someone took a wipeout for Seton Hill. It looked like that was Kelly Brennan. She gets up, she's okay. Now Mickey Glenn will bring it up the court. 30 seconds left in the game. Glenn, killing time, goes over to Doran. There's about an 8-second difference between shot and game clock, so California will have to take at least one shot here. Glenn gives it over to Doran. Doran sends it over to Dixon, but the ball goes well out of bounds.
And on that last point by Sierra Barrett now has a career-high 14 points. She's played really, really well today.
I knew she would be our player to watch for a reason, Anthony. 14 points, a new career high for Sierra Barrett.
And both players have been playing really well. You know, Brennan for Seton Hill, 20 points. Sierra Barrett with a career-high 14 points.
So now here's Hay with it. Alexandra Hay during the last 6 seconds of the game brings it up court, coming near side. 1 second left to go, and time expires. The shot is not going to count even if it fell through. 73-54, your final score.
And California today stumbled a little bit coming out as Seton Hill had a really good zone defense, but towards the end of the first half, like we said in the open, California's a really good late first half, second half team, and they just came out guns a-blazing with just doing really well against Seton Hill, getting the steals, getting the rebounds. This was a really great game in terms of rebounding for California.
And now our next broadcast is going to be here at the Convocation Center, where the Golden Knights of Gannon come into town to take on California. For my partner, Anthony D'Agostino, for our entire crew on hand here today, my name is Cody Jeanette. Thank you for watching this presentation of Vulcans women's basketball here on CUTV. We will see you next time.